Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss the biblical Noah, starring Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly, Ray Winstone, Anthony Hopkins, Emma Watson, Kevin Durand, and Logan Lerman, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Now, the reason I called it biblical is because this is a movie about Noah's Ark. Now, I have seen this movie before, and did I like it then? Let's see how this goes. Because I don't remember it being that good of a movie, but we'll see if it holds up. As a young boy, Noah witnesses his father Lamech killed by a young Tubal Cain, and that is dramatic to see as a kid, but I wasn't heartbroken for him. This is about how Noah made his ark for the animals and not man, being chosen by the gods, and I don't know what's gotten into director Darren Aronofsky for making biblical movies, as I'll talk about this in the next movie, as are now well executed for the next couple of shows. As we move on to Noah as an adult and played by Russell Crowe, who is married to Name, played by Jennifer Connelly. What a reunion after A Beautiful Mind, I must say. And their son Shem, Japheth, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and Ham, played by Logan Lerman. And Noah is encountered by a few men and beats their asses because they hunt for an animal in particular, because man is led to believe it's making them stronger, which feels like a serial killer thing to do, but remember, this is a biblical beast. And they get back to a Name. And do I like and care for the characters in this story? Not really, because they're just not that interesting. Noah dreams of some blood on his feet and visits his grandfather Methuselah, played by Anthony Hopkins, who wants to destroy the world, whom I've heard, because of Russell Crowe's temper, Anthony Hopkins was never on the same set as the same day as Russell Crowe. And please tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. And they find a young Illa and adopt her in their adventures as they get away from Tubal Cain's men, as they're being chased by Tubal Cain, played by Ray Winstone. And Noah and his family get taken by the Watchers, who are giant stones looking special effect that looks pretty bad. And they're introduced to Semiaza, I don't know if I'm saying that right, voiced by Nick Nolte, while Ela can't sleep and wants her father to sing her a song to make her sleep. And Noah sings her to sleep, and he knew as a kid because his father sang it to him, and it's successful, and the acting in this is very bad in this movie. One of the Watchers takes Noah and his family to Methuselah, and we get the backstory of the Watchers, which doesn't make any sense, because I'm no expert on the Bible, but I don't believe the gods had Watchers, so for me, it didn't make much sense. As Noah is taken to Methuselah, as he's introduced to Shem, as he tells him he likes berries. And so far this movie is kind of boring, as this is a boring movie from start to finish. And after reviewing Darren Aronofsky's work, I don't expect boredom from Aronofsky himself, as Noah sees death by water and sees images and tells Noah to build an ark for animals, which makes sense to the story I know of Noah's Ark, but this movie execution was just piss poor. Noah and Shem get back to Methuselah, saying to them man has to be punished and protect the innocent, which are the animals, as Noah and his family build the ark for the animals, and one of the Watchers beat up on one of their own, as he's a traitor, and Noah reasons with Semiaza, I don't know what the hell his name is, and he pokes a hole in the ground and builds trees like a snap of a finger. And this is very unrealistic of this movie, to build a forest in order to build the ark. And the Watchers help Noah and his family build the ark in order to make a 2-hour and 18-minute movie. They have to do some things quicker. And don't you think there should be a TV series years go by? And Ela, grown up and played by Emma Watson, who's in love with Shem, and their romance is ridiculous. Like, that's not a point of the movie at all, as it will create a terrible dilemma later in the film. And the ark is almost complete with the animals living there, and at this point I was bored out of my freaking mind. Noah and his family look after the animals while Ham questions what will happen to the family when snakes come by the ark. And I have a question. Aren't they predators of to the other animals like birds amongst others? Because that makes no sense to me. Like, how are they like trapping all the animals in one ark without making them eat one another, that's just weird. While Ham sees men led by Tubal Cain approaching them as they get to Noah and his ark and hold Ham hostage, as Noah calls them over to drop the weapon, and Noah and Tubal Cain talk, and the editing felt very choppy. Like, I can't focus on what's going on at this point, even during the action sequences, because between Tubal Cain's men and the Watchers, while Tubal Cain walks away and threatens to bring more men against them. And I was getting distracted by the writing in this, as it's executed very poorly. More animals show up to Noah's Ark and pack up as they get inside before they take off by the rain, while Tubal Cain is an animal slaughter and slaughter of the innocent. And Ela talks with Noah about the beginning of everything, and she says Shem needs a woman to have a family, and she can't deny that for him, as she tracks to not stick around because Noah and his family took her as a child, and she doesn't want any part of it. And Noah sees Tubal Cain while they kill innocent animals who don't deserve to die, which was rather a graphic scene, and I felt bad for that pig getting thrown and ripped in half, as my heart was breaking, as does Noah when he gets back the next day. Ham runs out of the family to join Tubal Cain. And do I really give a crap? No, I do not. But the only thing I felt bad for was the animals. And that's not a reason to like this movie, as this is not a good movie so far. Noah is planning on sacrificing the children, but Name doesn't approve, and leaves them to see Methuselah to ask how to change Noah's mind about whom he's going to sacrifice, while Ela goes after Ham to bring him back, as he almost comes back to Tubal Cain but is encountered by a girl named Nael, as he gives her food and helps her get away from Tubal Cain. Well, Ela encounters Methuselah and helps him look for berries, but she can't find them either. And Ela is confused, confesses to Methuselah how Noah saved her life. Amber blesses her with the stomach pain gone, and she kisses Shem, as the problem I'm having is about to fall asleep in this movie, as this is a snoozy movie. The rain comes and Ela and Shem get on the ark, as does Ham and Name, while Tubal Cain makes a speech about how they can take Noah's Ark by force, as Nael is trapped on the bear trap and gets killed by the men. As Noah can't save her life, but he saves Ham, as the men stop the Watchers, as the visual effects look painfully bad, while Tubal Cain wants his men to almost get to the Ark, but they suddenly blow up, and Tubal Cain almost gets in the Ark. And this action sequence was very hard to watch because of the editing in this choppy as hell. Tubal Cain gets away in the Ark thanks to Ham, as Methuselah dies, as he does most of the humans, because of the water, and Noah believes there's no room for man, and he tells the story of how there's light and how the world of man destroyed everything. And I'm just very bored with my arms crossed. And I'm trying not to fall asleep, but this movie is so freaking boring, I can't do it. Ham walks away from Noah and goes to Tubal Cain, and he asks if Noah knows he's here and why is he helping him, and brings up how Noah couldn't save the girl he was in love with, as Ham is upset with Noah about it, while Noah and Name look at the rain from outside, and Tubal Cain eats an animal and gets his strength back. And why in the hell is Ham helping this bastard out at this point? It's beyond preposterous, as Ela feels sick, but as it turns out, she's pregnant, and asks for Noah's blessing, and he doesn't approve, while Name tells Noah she went to Methuselah to live their lives and with children, and Noah is looking for a sign from God about killing the child, which doesn't sound right to God to tell him that as the rain has stopped because of Elah's child with Shem. And why the hell does Noah want her child to die? Because he's a damn psycho. Days continue and Elah can't walk any further, and Elah has no choice but to leave the ark because Noah is getting mad that very day, and Name asks Noah to punish her, not the child, Elah, Shem, and she monologues about how she followed him with the ark, but she won't forgive him if he kills the child, while Tubal-Cain is up and ready to kill Noah as he forces Ham to kill his own father. While he kills a pig as Elah and Shem almost takes off from the ark, but Noah burns the boat and Elah's water breaks and gives birth to their baby girls, which happens to be twin girls. As this is just terrible. Ham brings Noah down and Tubal-Cain attacks him, and eventually Tubal-Cain is forced by nature getting him off the ark as Ham killed Tubal-Cain and reluctantly saves Noah's life. And because of the babies are girls, Noah plans on killing both of them as he learns they're girls, and she sings the song Noah sang to her earlier in the film, and he decides not to kill him. After all that, this is a horrible human being with horrible ways to deal with things. And this is in the crapper as far as the main character goes, as well as this movie. Noah tells God he cannot do this, and a seagull flies by them, and they get back to land with Noah being an old man with his gray hair and beard, and suddenly lives homeless. As I believe this could have been cut out of the movie because the last scene is kind of a perfect ending. Even if anybody notices, I don't like this movie because it's executed rather poorly, and it's just too long. And I was like, get to the damn point already. As Ham decides to leave the family because he just can't forgive Noah for killing his woman off earlier in the film, as Noah saw love in the twin girls as he failed Name and his family, and that's why he was all alone. Well, the innocent animals are saved, and he comes to Name while she's digging, and he helps her out. And Noah feels sad as he grabs her hand and kisses her head, and they hug it out and passes his birthright to the children, and the climax just bored me. But how bored was I during this movie? Let's talk about it. I'll give this movie a 3.6 out of 10. I don't like nor care for the characters as well as the story because they're just not that interesting, and the special effects look pretty bad. And the acting in this is very bad, and I'm no expert on the Bible, but the gods didn't have watchers, do they? As this doesn't entertain me, as I wasn't entertained by this movie, but mostly bored throughout. And after reviewing Darren Aronofsky's work, I don't expect boredom from Aronofsky himself. The execution of this movie is piss poor, and the fact that they had to fit this movie into a 2-hour and 18-minute movie as the arc is built fast, and I'm thinking shouldn't this be a TV series, which bothers me because it's so unrealistic and the editing is pretty choppy. Like, I can't follow what's going on in this movie, as I was getting distracted by the writing as it's executed poorly. I care for the animals more than the humans in this movie, but that's not a reason to like this movie, which I don't, as this is a non-recommendation for this movie, as it was, like I said, executed rather poorly, and I can't wait to discuss how bad the next movie, Mother, is going to be, because remember that one being worse than this movie, and after that, Darren Aronofsky shouldn't make any more biblical movies, in my opinion. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time we'll be back with Mother, and until then, don't go on Noah's Ark. It's filled with animals that might eat you alive. Maybe not really, I don't know.